Now entering the atmosphere of Planet Zero. Scanning for signals. Incoming broadcast. Shift destination. CSSH journal. Begin transmission.
Good morning, everybody.
Or night, depending on when you're listening to this.
But preferably in the morning.
I always listen to it on our morning commute to space.
That's right.
When we're going up into space. Welcome back to the book club from Planet Zero, a.k.a. the Planet Zero podcast.
A.k.a. the girls' room.
Girls' room.
The girls' room.
Girls only.
Yeah.
And that, of course, girls is guys in real life. Me and Eric only play as women in video games.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, that's a deep cut for any of you out there. Welcome back, though. This is Season 2, Episode 1 of Season 2.
This is the first episode.
First episode of Season 2. Last episode of the year, 20, what is it? On 2023?
20
sometime.
Shmee?
Something like that,
Which letters do they use for their year?
They use the numbers.
Oh.
The numerics.
The numerics.
Yeah.
We don't have those on Planet Zero.
Yeah. That's why we're called Planet Zero. That's as far as we count numbers.
That's how much we can count. It's up to zero.
We can count as many. Count as much as fingers as we have on our hands.
A little bit of lore for you.
Thank God for mic stands. No. It'll be the last episode of the year. It's our first year in podcasting. We've learned a lot. And we forgot a lot about those lessons.
We learned a lot. We forgot a lot. We start back from lesson 0, hence the namesake.
But we're back, and we're here, and we're a book club, and we're going to talk about the books that we've been reading. So without further ado, I think it's time to just jump into our agenda and talk about the book that we just finished together.
Dude, Kingdom Come?
Kingdom Come.
On my face?
Kingdom Came.
Kingdom came.
I Kingdom Came, I Kingdom Wiped Up, and I Kingdom Left.
So let's give this viewers a little synopsis, a short synopsis about this book.
So DC's Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. First off, Dynamite Team. Just a pair.
Yes, dude.
Right?
One of the best.
Mark Waid, just one of the best names out there contemporarily.
He's reading those books that you're reading right now.
Yeah, and he's doing what, World's Finest right now?
Yeah, that series.
Yeah, and
Waidverse.
you can this is one of those artists or writers that I kind of like. When we started the podcast, I told you that you could go into a store, you could just find, like, if you watch the Daredevil show and you really like the Daredevil show, you can just go and buy Daredevil books, and you can be interested in Daredevil that way, right? But after a while, you're going to realize, oh, man, some Daredevil's good and some Daredevil's bad. And it's like, well, which Daredevil did you like? Do you remember when Daredevil was good? Go look at who wrote that, and then maybe go find another comic.
Is that how you got started on Waid?
That's how I got started on Waid and King and just a bunch of them. Cates, Ewing, Lansing.
I know half of those people.
Abnett, all of those guys. Though, like, you just start to realize that, like, you can increase the quality of your life reading comic books if you look out for the quality writer names. That like Moore, right? Like, you would pick up any book by Moore and you'd go, I'm going to like this.
I want more of that.
I want more.
I want more of Alan Moore, but he won't.
I don't think he's going to say that they want more of me. Well, I could do for a little less.
They just like my
That's
ideas,
Alan Moore
not
doing stand-up. But we read Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross.
Alex Ross, real quick, too.
Great writer. And, let's talk about him for a second.
What an amazing artist. A guy who... He doesn't really do... he doesn't really do panel work. He usually does the cover art, right?
Yes.
But now he
usually just does cover art, concept, and like large scale paintings of characters. Like that's what his art is.
So they made a full length book on this guy's art. It's like an art book.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It is essentially this beautiful. It's like a museum of art for comic books. Like this is like what you would go to the museum and see. Like.
But it's like its whole universe, too.
It's so good. Yeah, it's all in his style. He's designed all the characters. I love that. I remember the first time I read Kingdom Come, you open it up and you see this just random old dude.
Yeah, that
and
old
I was
dude.
like, oh, who is that? I was like, is that Alex Ross? Is that like a self-portrait he did?
Is that a president or something?
Who is this guy?
No, he's
our main character.
He's
so
our
this
main
book,
character, an old man preacher.
He's a priest. He's a priest
who's having
what's his name again?
Norman McKay.
Norman McKay. I couldn't think of it.
I like how we never knew who this guy was, but then like we read the story, we're a big fan of him, and then we went to the freaking we went to the toy store.
We were at a used toy store in our local
and we saw
town.
like a bunch of Norman McKay figures just sitting on the side. I was like, what?
You were super shocked, but I was shocked too, but then I remembered that you bought the Dead Man figure.
Yeah,
from Kingdom Come.
Oh yeah, there's a whole Kingdom Come collection. They made a whole
figure,
figure,
but like it doesn't click in your head that they'd make just this old dude who wears like a button-up flannel and a sweater vest.
Yeah, until you read the story and you realize how cool that old man is.
He is the main. I would say, most books you could boil down. Who's the protagonist? Is this an Iron Man book? Is this a Spider-Man book? Is this an Avengers book?
This is a Norman. This is a Norman. People
McKay
mistake
book,
this
baby.
book. Yeah, people mistake this as a Superman book. I think it's a Norman McKay book.
It's definitely not a Superman book.
Well, he's poster child. He's always in the front.
It does follow him. It does follow him the most. And I do think that Mark Waid talks about how this is primarily for him a Superman storyline. But so Norman McKay, just an everyday preacher, right? Plagued with visions because his friend died.
That's
who
so
was having
sad.
the visions himself.
Yeah.
And who was his friend?
Oh,
Sandman.
It was the Sandman.
It was
That's
the
right.
Sandman,
That's right.
dude. The Sandman was going to his church. He was dying. He's older now because this is a universe where...
Yeah, we should let the people know this takes place in an alternate universe again, where the superheroes. It's in the future where the superheroes have gone older, and the world's a little different. There's an increase of metahumans with powers, and Superman kind of like went to recluse. He became a neat.
So it's a world where. The metahumans are having kids, right? So the metahumans are multiplying.
Yeah, they're having kids.
So there's more metahumans, right? There's more
Just
people
like
with
mutants.
powers. There's more androids. There's more super intelligent people. And we're at a world, when we get into the story of Kingdom Come, the world is at a point of critical mass where these superheroed individuals are just fighting each other for the fuck of it.
So much collateral damage.
It's literally just like glamour. It's like there's so many superheroes that they're not even heroes anymore. They're kind of just like doing it for their own clout. It's a bunch of
war.
influencers.
It's just like a
basically.
big. It's also like a big war. More heroes, more villains, and all that.
Remember when Vine got shut down?
That was so
and
sad.
then like all of the Vine stars like started infecting all the other like media apps and media outlets.
Yeah.
Now imagine if the Viners just had superpowers instead. And instead of like once Vine was deleted, instead of going to YouTube and making a bunch of dumb shorts and short videos, they like went out to the street and shooting lightning bolts at your car.
It's like all the superheroes are from New York City, and that was fine. But now they're in my backyard. They're at my kid's school. They're everywhere.
And when they get in a fight, it's not like, oh, we're saving the world. It's like, no, they're just seeing who's stronger than the other one.
Guess what? My car's insurance does not take superhero collateral.
Yeah. So
do you fucking believe that?
So things aren't in a good place for superhumans.
Superman's gone.
One of the big reasons is because for the last 10 years, Superman is gone.
He went into a little hiding.
He went into hiding because his protege, Magog.
Is that a protege? No, that was just a guy who looked up to him and wanted to imitate him.
Yeah, but that probably started as a protege thing.
Yeah.
Superman probably tried to take him under his wing and teach him. And I think they talk about that. Like Superman feels a deep sense of guilt and failure because he let that kid down. Right, because he looked up to Superman, and in Superman's eyes, like even if it's not explicitly said in the text, which I can't really recall right now, but even if that's not explicitly said, where Superman mentors this kid, the fact that this kid looked up to Superman so much and still did such a heinous act, hit Superman hard.
Well, I think I'm starting to remember. You're right, but also what made Superman go into like hiding and all that is because of Magog, the
parasite.
Pretty much. That's after.
Yeah,
that's when he comes. That's when he comes back.
Out, sorry,
he leaves because Magog is getting all these like credits and all this fame and stuff. But he's like a complete. Well, he's not careful. He destroys stuff on the way, but he's still getting all this cloud and stuff. And Superman does not support all this, and they kind of like put him on the spot because like he doesn't kill his villains and Magog does. So and people started going on his side, and Superman was like, I can't see humanity falling for that.
Magog goes on trial for murder.
Yeah, he got out. That's right.
Superman goes and testifies and is like, hey, just because this guy killed a quote-unquote bad guy and saved the day.
He killed the Joker. That's right.
Like, yeah.
Oh, shit. I can't believe I forgot about that. Oh, it's all coming. It's all falling back. This is good. This story's so good.
He kills the Joker, dude. He's like, just because he like did that, just because he was a bad person doesn't mean that makes murder okay. And this guy should have the full punishment for murdering someone.
But everybody
and then the
on
people's
Earth were
court
like,
said, no, he's our hero. He killed the Joker. You guys should have done it a long time ago. And that makes Superman lose hope, and he goes and he secludes himself in an artificial reality. But we learned that a little later, because at first, Norman McKay having a hard time preaching, right?
Yeah,
having a hard
he's so
time.
sad with life and everything.
He's like, man, life's getting rough.
Even his flock is like,
yeah,
they're like listening to his masses, and they're like,
why
is this guy so sad?
There's super mutants flying all over the place.
He's literally talking about the end of days.
That guy who got off for murder 10 years ago just blew up the Bible Belt. So what happens? This the kickoff event of this book. That's all background information that you have now, listeners. The kickoff event is Magog, or however you pronounce his name.
Him and a bunch of superheroes.
Including Captain Adam, a man who has a suit that contains radiation.
Yeah, he's
stronger than the sun or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are chasing down the parasite.
They're fighting the parasite.
They're in Oklahoma, Kansas.
They're in Kansas. So this is Clark's home state.
Yeah, it's his heart. It's right in the heart, dude. And he's like running through a wheat field, and Parasite's like, fucking leave me alone. Please just leave me alone, dude. And Magog's like, get him. Get him. And Parasite, desperate, scrapes out and cuts open Captain Universe or Captain Atom.
Captain Atom.
I think his name is Captain Universe or something like that in this book, but it might be Captain Atom. But he cuts him open.
It's a new outfit.
He cuts him open and nukes the entire Bible Belt.
This was live too.
Entire grain. Yeah, it was being broadcasted live, and on top of that, it begins a famine because that's where all of the that's where a majority of our agriculture is in that like Midwest area.
Yeah. So that's a big fuck up.
Yeah. So Norman McKay is like trying to preach and trying to give people hope because that's his job as a preacher, right? And he's having a hard time. And at the end of one session at church, the fucking Spectre just shows up.
The Spectre!
He just comes flying out of a painting, dude. And he's like,
Norman McKay, you are too depressing, but I need your help.
He's like, Norman McKay, as you well know, the apocalypse is a brewing.
He's like, I knew it. No, he wasn't like that, but he's scared. He was shit his pants when he saw the Spectre.
He was like, no, this is just another vision. And Vision is like, no, come with me. I need your help.
To judge humanity.
All of humanity.
Usually it's my job, but I need a human
and Norman
to do
McKay's
it.
like, did you not just realize I couldn't even do my job of preaching to people? And the Spectre's like, that's why you're my prime suspect.
Yeah, so Spectre just takes this poor old man who's like, have suicidal thoughts and just took him on a big old journey.
I don't think Norman McKay was having suicidal thoughts. I think he just lost his friend. The world around him is crumbling, and he himself is having a hard time finding hope. And his job as a preacher is to instill hope in his followers and his parish or whatever. But he's literally he can't find it. He's like, this is hopeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's being a depressing man.
Yeah, but I feel like, especially after...
Ready to be a letdown,
especially
Norman.
like when we all went through COVID, I'm sure we can all identify with Norman McKay.
Oh, yeah.
And this story of like... Things got out of hand.
Things are crumbling around you.
And they're crumbling around you, and where can we find hope? And it goes on this, and immediately the Spectre takes him, and he takes him over to Kansas where Superman's hiding in an AI bunker. Mm-hmm. Right?
And then Wonder Woman comes to get him out of there.
Wonder Woman comes and is like, you're being a cuck. Superman, you're going to let Magog cuck you like that? And then Superman's like, shut up. I heard you got kicked out of the Amazon. Remember that?
That's so sad. Why would Amazons are bitches?
Yeah. But
they dethroned her.
They dethroned her, but Diana shows up on Superman's artificial doorstep. Well, first off, Spectre takes Norman McKay to find Superman, and he takes him to like a big farm, and he's like, immediately Norman McKay is like, how is this possible? This got nuked like 2 weeks ago. This is impossible. There's no, this is Kansas. He's like, well, give it a second. And it like is revealed that Superman for the last 10 years has been hiding out in this like bunker that he built himself that AI generates a farm life. Yeah. Loser, dude.
Oh. But
loser behavior.
So Wonder Woman takes him out, and Superman sees the world, and he has to get it all back in order. He takes it upon himself to put things back in order. Well, and that contradicts other superheroes like Batman and Magog, of course, who's still out.
Well, she's like, Clark, this is what's going on out in the world, dude. the world needs Superman. And then he comes back out sporting the black logo.
The black S.
Right, the black S. And he looks around and he's like, okay, well, there's too many metahumans. None of them know how to be heroes. None of them know what they're doing. We need to reinstate the Justice League and teach these kids what they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
That's what happens, is like, he's like.
So he builds a gulag.
Yes.
A gulag.
Because what better when you need to re-educate an entire population than a gulag? I think they're not shy about it at all.
Didn't he specifically said it's a gulag?
He calls it a gulag so many times.
Yeah, there's this big ass dome.
He gets scot-free. Well, first he goes to.
You got your boy scot-free.
Hold on, but because before that he goes to
Batman.
He gathers up the old crew. He goes. Diana gets him. And then he gets the Flash, who is existing at all places at once. Then he meets up with the Green Lantern.
Just Central City, though.
Just Central City.
But he can also hang out with them, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's literally every place at once and in every dimension.
Central City is pretty much like...
Yeah.
Well, the whole world's being fucked up. Central City is fine because the Flash is everywhere at once. And
also,
Gotham City is good because there's bat drones walking everywhere.
I just want to take a note real quick right here. While we describe these events to you, understand that the way that we receive these events were through the Spectre, like shooting Norm Mackay around time and space, in a pocket dimension to view these events happening so that he can judge humanity at the end. Like when we're talking about these events, just keep in mind that there's like a 67-year-old man and the Spectre just watching everything. And the entire time the 65-year-old man is like, please, Spirit of Vengeance, do something, do fucking anything.
And he's like, and the Spectre's I can't do anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. Wait. This is all on you, Norman.
Dude.
It's like a Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah,
Mr. Spectre.
Yeah, so they get the gang back together. Superman goes to Apocalypse. And he meets with remember?
Orion.
He meets with Orion,
who looks like
Darkseid.
Oh my god! You know that blue helmet around Darkseid's head? Now imagine that with Orion, with like a pretty much Orion's a skin palette, like a skin swap of like Darkseid. Pretty much, his hair is now like the blue helmet.
Longtime listeners will remember that we read Jack Kirby's Fourth World together.
The Fourth World.
And in the Fourth World, Orion actually uses Mother Box to fix his face.
Yeah, to fix his face.
To not look so much like his monster father.
Then he stopped. He stopped getting cosmetic surgery.
He takes over his father's position and he gives that up.
He looks just like him.
Yeah. He like falls, like it's Superman's going and is like, hey, like you rule Apocalypse. Like, how did you do it? And like Darkseid's like, you're talking to the wrong dude because I just am filling in for what exactly my father did.
I don't even want to be here.
He's like, I found it better to leave things the way they are. When Superman goes to talk to Orion essentially says to him, yeah, if you want the success that I have by taking over the rule of Apocalypse, you got to understand, I didn't really do anything different from Darkseid. The only thing that I did was stop trying to conquer everything. But in ruling Apocalypse, I found it easiest to just keep things the way they are because that's what this planet is used to. That's what the society is. And then he's like, if you're looking for someone to instill hope and change the future, you're talking to the wrong guy. And that's when Superman goes and finds Scott-Free. And Scott-Free builds a gulag. That's when Scott-Free builds a work camp.
I
like re-education camp.
I like how Mr. Miracle is always like coming in during Justice League situations when they need like a prison built.
Yeah, I liked him in Identity Crisis when he just showed up and was like, "Huh, yeah, my security system was working fine. I don't know
why your wife died elongated, man.
Dude, you suck.
It wasn't my systems, just letting you know,
dude.
Scott, come on, man." No one was.
My wife's still alive. So.
No one was sticking the finger to you, Scott.
Scott, what the fuck, dude? My wife's still fucking here, dude.
All right, don't fucking blame me.
You should go talk to Dr. Light. Turn him into a Teen Titan villain. We're getting off track.
So
they build this gulag,
yeah.
And Superman goes and talks to Batman and is like, "Hey, Batman, I'm doing this thing. Can you help me?" And Batman's like, "This is fucked."
Yeah,
what you're doing's kind of fucked.
Batman pretty much just stays in Gotham City now as like commanding all his bat bots.
Yeah, and Superman's like, "What about like what we're trying to save the world? We're trying to save.
What
about your city?"
Gotham.
And he's like, "My city's fucking fine.
The whole world can crumble, but my city's fine."
Yeah, But then Batman goes and meets with the ML. What is it? A? No, what is it? HLA?
The
Human Liberation Front?
The Human Liberation Front, led by
HLF.
Led by Lex Luthor, Catwoman, the Riddler.
Yeah, so
the Human Liberation Front.
Batman goes and hangs out with the Human Liberation Front, who includes
Lex Luthor, Catwoman, the Riddler. I think Vandal Savage is there too.
He is.
Who else?
There's other people there.
There was a League of Assassins guy that I never heard of.
Oh, it was Ra's al Ghul's
a successor.
Successor or something.
I don't know who that is, but
King Cobra, was that him?
Cobra.
Yeah.
Cobra
was there.
That's the terrorist / cult group.
Yeah. But
not the G.I. Joe one.
It's fun because Riddler's there and Batman's there, right? And they're going around introducing each other. And it's Selina Kyle, and Riddler's just there going who is Catwoman?
And it's
Bruce Wayne, who is the Batman? And it's Riddler. Lex is Selina, why did you bring him?
Yeah, it was Selina that brought him in.
And then Riddler is what is owed me a favor?
What is this stupid fucking club? What's the point of this club, Luthor? Remember he was getting out
shouting that, yeah. Because Luthor wants them to.
He wants there to be more metahumans.
He wants there to be more metahumans to get to a critical mass.
Yeah, and then fucking dumbass Riddler's all "Excuse me, Lex. What is the purpose of more metahumans? I thought we were the Human Liberation Front." And then
Lex is Selina, I swear to God.
But then Vandal Savage is all "I'm actually curious too, Lex. Why are you putting more metahumans?" And then Lex described.
Yeah, and then also Billy Batson is there, looking fly as hell in a tuxedo. What's he doing there?
He's being mind slaved by Lex, dude.
Using what?
Huh?
Using what? You don't remember what he used? How he?
Those are the worms.
The worms, dude.
That's Mr. Mind.
Yes.
That's a bunch. I didn't really put that together.
You didn't realize that?
No, not when I was first reading it.
Fucking nerd.
Because
fake fan.
They didn't really talk about it. They just kind of. Now that you brought it up, I do remember
it's
him
heavily,
pulling worms.
It's heavily.
It was also a bunch of little worms, not just one worm. Okay, Mr. Mind is one worm. So
also, I think he name dropped Sylvanas. He's using things that Sylvanas wanted to do to him.
You're right. So they're able to mind control him. He used Sylvanas' help.
Yeah. Well, he used Sylvanas' theories.
Oh, I see.
And also,
that
Billy.
Makes sense.
When you remember reading this book, Billy is a really sad character in this book because he was a kid who turns into a metahuman, right? He is a normal boy who says a word and magically is turned into a different metahuman. So he's always had a foot in both doors. This is 10 years later. Billy Batson is 20 years old. He's had to deal with things that a normal child never would have had to, and he actually kind of willingly allows Lex to brainwash him because, remember, he's getting, lost in his PTSD.
Yeah.
They talk about that in the book where it's oh, man, this kid's life was so fucked that, he can't tell the difference between Captain Marvel and Billy Batson. By the way, they call him Captain Marvel. Well, they call him Marvel, right?
Good, yeah. It's Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I think there was a point. This was during the point when they still call him that.
Yeah.
I think it was after the Injustice games or something like that.
I think he couldn't be called. It's after it was Mortal Kombat versus DC was when it happened. Was when they you can't call that character Captain Marvel,
which is messed up. I'm really sad they can't do that. He is a better Captain Marvel.
I mean, you can think that. I like original Captain Marvel. I like Marvel.
I think people are smart enough to distinguish the two, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
So let him keep the name. It's just sad because when I'm reading modern Shazam and they can't call him Shazam because he can't call himself Shazam because he'll change. And he can't call himself Captain Marvel, so they just have to call him the Captain, which I think is lame. And they still call the family the Marvel family.
Yeah,
weird.
That is weird. That is kind of strange.
Mary Marvel and Freddie Marvel. It's come on, guys.
Yeah, but also right after the Gulag is built, or I guess not right after, because again the Spectre's kind of throwing them all over the place and sending them to a bunch of different time zones.
If we're going all over the place for you people, just know that Norman McKay is also going all over the place.
You guys are experiencing through us what Norman McKay experienced. We're kind of just your Spectre. You know what I mean?
We should also mention that Gulag looks just like the Legion of Doom hideout from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. What a good callback.
Yeah, it's almost like Superman's evil. But then he takes him to the meeting. He goes and he hangs out with the Shazam wizard, Highfather, and a Guardian.
DC's
to talk about what's going on Earth.
Yeah, DC's equivalent to the Masters of the Universe, I guess. You got Zeus, you got the Phantom Stranger, Shazam wizard, and Highfather.
That's not Zeus, dude. That's Highfather. That's Highfather.
What about him up there? What about that guy?
Which guy?
Is that guy not Zeus? I'm gonna assume he's Zeus.
No, that right there is the wizard.
I know that's the wizard, but who's that guy right there? That looks like, kind of looks like Zeus if I squint my eyes and turn my head a little bit.
Who are you, friend?
I want to say Zeus because he's also a big player like that.
Okay, yeah, it is. That is such a weird angle on that drawing. I don't even see them in there.
Oh, we just got an alert. We just got a breaking news. Never mind. You don't like movies.
We're just in the middle of a different conversation. We'll have to cut this. So they talk to this tribunal, and Deadman's there.
That's a good word. Tribunal.
It is like a tribunal, dude. They're sick.
Deadman's there, and he's not part of the tribunal, but because he can travel anywhere.
He's just hanging out.
Yeah, he's hanging out.
Norman McKay is like, "Are you a part of this?" And he's like, "Nah, I just like to hang around."
Is that how you read Boston? I love when we talk about comics.
Well, especially
you start talking about a voice,
especially with this Boston brand, because first off, look at those wavy lines.
This is actually my favorite Deadman.
This is the Deadman where he's been dead so long that he's given up on flesh, and he's just a skeleton in the Deadman suit.
I like that.
That's cool.
That's my favorite Deadman.
I think it's neat.
I have that figure. It's pretty cool.
It's not even a figure. It's more of a statue, isn't it?
I'm going to take him out and play with him. And
can he pose?
No, he floats around. I got to get like a little one of those plastic things that you can hold onto a character to make them in the air. You know?
That's nuts.
But God, look how beautiful Shazam looks.
Yeah. So anyway, Batman really just shows up to the Human Liberation Front to kind of like set some seeds of distrust, or not distrust, but like he's planning on overthrowing Luthor, right, with his own squad, because he gets a bunch of Green Arrow, Blue Beetle,
Black Canary.
all of the human, more human kind of superheroes.
Yeah, as this story it keeps going on, it feels like another Marvel Civil War kind of thing where the two superheroes. Like Batman's leading his own force, and then you got Superman leading his own force.
It feels like that seems reductionist to say, but I would if I was trying to get someone to read Kingdom Come, which I think I even said it to you when I was trying to get you to read it. I was
felt like that for a while.
It's DC Civil War. It's Batman versus Superman. I think in its best, at its peak.
Should we just say what happens?
No, we're gonna keep talking about it because basically after the Gulag is built, a riot starts to break out in the Gulag.
Of course, because it's not really a prison; it's more like just a holding place.
Well,
where
so
Superman can just project himself in the air.
It's supposed to be a school, because in there they're supposed to be able to take classes and learn how to be heroes. And then once they learn how to be heroes, they graduate and then get to go out into the real world.
Yeah, none of them want to do that.
None of them want to do that. They're all fully grown metahumans with their own free will, and they've just been put someplace against their will. So a riot breaks out. They start rioting. Basically, he put all of the powder in one keg. You know, he made a powder keg situation.
Yeah, to be fair, Superman not really your brightest idea.
He's
honestly.
an idiot.
Don't say that.
He's an idiot.
He just had too much under his belt. Come on.
And Diana's going to fight in the riot.
Oh yeah,
and
dude,
she pulls a sword, and she's like, and Superman's like, hey, that's a sword that can cut atoms, isn't it? It can even kill me. And she's like, yeah, we're going to war. And he's like, whoa, that's a harsh word. And then Diana's like, Kurt,
it's Clark.
Kurt, I thought he was Super Skrull for a second. He's Superman, not Super Skrull. But she's like, Clark, you've been saying Gulag this entire time. Just hard G, Gulag.
We should also mention that this is a Superman and Wonder Woman shipping story. So they're a couple.
You spoiled it, but I mean, we were gonna get there.
There was in the beginning. They were flirting with in the beginning. They were flirting.
Oh yeah, because Superman's like, I can't believe you're gonna go try and kill people right now, and then in response, Diana just tries to kiss him.
That was right. That was weird.
She just lays one on him.
This isn't as much as I love this story. This isn't my favorite Wonder Woman. She pretty much gaslights Clark.
She doesn't gaslight. Well, she does gaslight him.
Kinda.
She pokes him in the direction of committing war crimes.
Pretty much poking him in this direction.
Where I want to find the page.
But then again, I kind of like, I also understand her point of view, because like when Superman's gone and Batman had a recluse to Gotham, it was all by herself trying to handle the world, and she ended up getting fucked over in the end.
Listen to this.
What's up?
This is when they kiss. Her lips brush his with the sound of warbling, scraping steel. It is a kiss. No, shit. I don't know how to read. Her lips brush with the sound of marble scraping steel. Marble scraping steel.
They're so tough.
Awful sound. Terrible sound. It is a kiss completely devoid of passion.
And then
it is a final farewell.
Dude, it's funny. She kisses him, and then she like leaves with all his soldiers,
with all of his friends.
And it's just a panel of.
You ever lose the breakup so hard
that she takes the whole family?
That she takes your friends,
friends and family.
So Bruce Clark goes and
listen, Clark, it's Clark.
Everyone leaves. Superman goes in to Batman and is like, Batman, there's a riot. There's about to be a war. We got to stop it. And Batman's like, hey, dude, you know how much I love to say I told you so? It's a lot. Get out of my fucking house.
And then Superman's all like, people are going to die. Bruce, just help me. And then Bruce is all like, well, I can't tell you this, that Shazam is going to be like flying over there right now to destroy that place, which Superman just immediately goes
gone.
There.
He's gone. And there's I love it because it's a panel of old Bruce and his back's turned to Superman as he's telling him. And he's like, I can't do anything to help you, dude. This is too far gone. But I can tell you that Captain Marvel's still active and he's being brainwashed by Luthor. And he's the only one outside of you who can stop this. And he's on his way right now to kill everyone.
He's on his way to break open the gulag. That's what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. And so fucking Clark runs off and disappears behind Batman, and Batman turns around and is like, oh, is that how that feels? It's a really cute moment.
Good moment.
And then this war breaks out, dude. Yeah.
Superman versus Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel beats him there, cracks open the dome, and this absolute carnage breaks out, dude. Biblical levels of just violence and fire and flames and smoke and creatures. And Norman McKay is just in a dimension watching it while the Spectre eats a bag of salt and vinegar chips.
You want me to grab you a chair too, Norman?
Norman's like, do something!
This is fucked up. Whoa! Look, see? The Spectre's all looking sad, like, I can't do nothing about it.
I can take no action.
Oh, man, I feel so bad. It's funny how I'm reading this whole story and it's just watching an old man get tormented by.
I love it, dude. I think it's hilarious.
Then the Spectre keeps telling him, like, this is your job to judge. Like, I'm scared.
And the whole time this is all going on, the United Nations is like, we got 3 nukes. Let's send them.
Fucked up.
We got 3 nukes. Let's fucking send them, dude. And I think they send Dick to do it.
Dick?
Yeah, I think Dick.
No, they send the Blackhawks.
No, I'm pretty sure this is Dick Grayson.
No, that's the Blackhawk.
That's the Blackhawk?
You know what a Blackhawk is?
What's that?
So this is back during World War II times, of World War II comics. Mm-hmm. They used to be a mysterious pilots that would come in during war and save the day. And there's a bunch of different Blackhawk members, and you just know they're a Blackhawk because they have that symbol on him.
Interesting. I always read that as being Dick.
Nah. Isn't Dick the Robin in this?
He might be. We can check it in the compendium later, but
the one that joins Superman. You know.
But basically, the UN decides to send 3 nuclear bombs to blow up the Gulag on top of everything that's going on. They're like, let's just kill them all at once. They're all there, and then right after that decision, we cut back to the battle, and Batman
comes in. Batman, look at him come in. He
shows up with Blue Beetle and the Creeper. And
after all those people on the page that come out, the ones that stick out to Christian is Blue Beetle and the Creeper.
What's this guy's name?
Oh, can't see it.
He's the Panther Man.
That looks like a new Wildcat.
Wildcat, that's what his name is. This is such a lineup, dude.
To be fair, the Creeper is the only one sticking out the most in this dark colors.
Look, you're like, oh, only Blue Beetle and the Creeper stick out the Christian. But if I go from left to right in order from bottom to top, it's Blue Beetle, the Creeper, Green Arrow.
Yo, look,
that's a squad. That's probably Batman's 3 top lieutenants.
I need me a middle-aged Green Arrow figure. Honestly, balding, middle-aged Green Arrow.
I don't even know if they did that.
Well, they had to. They got Dead Man. They got to have Green Arrow.
And then the battle's raging, right? Batman just showed up. Batman is trying to talk some sense into Diana. Or actually, right before he talks sense into Diana, he literally watches her murder
She
Von Bach.
She murders somebody?
She murders Von Bach. Remember, he's like, "Du wirst I don't speak German, but he's yelling a bunch of stuff in German, and then she just stabs. He looks like he's attacking Bill Nye the Science Guy. He just gets stabbed in the fucking chest. And Batman's like, Diana! And then Diana's like, he left me no choice. And Batman was like, he wasn't even fighting you.
Holy crap.
But
it just makes it weird how they all go back to... I won't spoil it right now, but...
get him! But it's war. It's war, Eric.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. And,
war is sad.
Batman and Diana fly up above the clouds, above the ash that's going on.
And they see the Blackhawks.
They see the Blackhawks. They come together. They stop most of the nukes. One nuke falls. One single nuke gets through. Superman is in the middle of a fight with Shazam. He sees it. Shazam is Shazamming the shit out of Superman, hitting him with that magic lightning, one of Superman's only weaknesses at this point, because he's even immune to kryptonite at this age.
Oh, yeah,
Getting hit with magical lightning. At one Shazam, he lunges, has it hit Billy, turns him back into a human, snaps his jaw shut, holds him there for a second, looks up, sees the bomb, and is like, Billy, I've been making mistakes left and right this entire time. I feel like every decision I've made led us here, which makes me feel like I've made every decision the wrong decision because I never wanted to end up here. Now, I could let that bomb... we have plenty of time to stop... I have plenty of time to stop that bomb. You have plenty of time to stop that bomb. The thing is, I don't know if I should be allowed to stop that bomb. So I think I'm going to let go of your mouth. I'm going to go and try and stop that bomb. And you stop me if you think everyone here should die and the humans should just get the planet, you know? Or... I'm going to stop it, and we're going to have the same problem. Too many metahumans. And human life will be lost on the scale it is lost the other week. I feel like you're the only one qualified to make this decision. Superman goes to fly up. Shazam.
He's both mortal and man.
Shazam says it's the magic word, grabs him, throws Superman down to the ground, flies up to the bomb, detonates the bomb in the midair.
He tried to stop the nuke.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. He goes, he hugs it, he yells, Shazam, 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 to blow the bomb up midair.
Oh.
He makes that decision. They talk about it later in the book. They talk about how he made the decision to try and save as much life as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to save,
Superman gave him an ultimatum, and Captain Marvel said no. And he did, because there's enough metahumans that survive with the help of Green Lantern and other heroes.
Yeah.
To still have the same problem. There's still too many metahumans on the Earth. Like, we're still dangerous.
Not anymore. Now that nuke fell down and killed, I say 90% of them.
They kill a large percent, but they literally say it at the end of the book. They say, we still have the same problem. Like, we're still in the same situation.
Step one.
And then Superman was like, well, I think we can handle it better now with all the lessons we've learned. Like, we're not gods, and we should stop acting like we're gods. Yeah. And then he ties Shazam's cape to the United Nations, signifying that
we forgot about the biggest part.
What's that?
Norman McKay coming in. So after the bomb hits, Superman felt so bad. He's literally there's a whole panel of him, well, not a full page panel of him around all these skeletons, just really distraught and
so that happens to Billy, right? And then Superman's pissed that they ever sent the nukes.
So he flies all the way
to go
the
destroy the United Nations,
and he's about to destroy the nation. And Norman McKay was all like, "Inspector, put me out there. Let me in there. I'm gonna talk some sense into him." And Inspector's like, "Oh shit, all right." So he lets Norman McKay be visible to the world, and he addresses Superman as Clark because he's been following Clark around the whole time. He knows who he is now, and just tells him. I can't even remember what he tells him, but he pretty much just sets him straight.
He's like, you Superman! I'm so mad at you right now! Shame on you!
It really is a Rick
and
and
Inspector's like, whoa, relax!
Oh.
Norm McKay preaches hope. The thing that he failed to do to his following in the beginning of the book, he does to Superman, who needs it the most in that moment.
Yeah.
He is able to preach hope to the man of hope who's lost all hope.
Oh my God.
I don't know how many more times I can say hope.
No, that was beautiful what you just said there.
You see, because he comes in and he's like, Superman, you're not angry at them. You're angry at
yourself.
you. Like, put it down. If you want to really reconcile with what just happened,
stop crumbling that roof.
Yeah. Raise the roof, Superman.
but not like what you're doing right now.
Yeah, gently lower it. No, but he tells Superman, he's like, if you really want to reconcile, if you really want to make things right, this isn't the way, and you know that deep down, right? And at this point, all the other superheroes have arrived on the scene, and they're all watching this happen. And he's able to preach hope into Superman and fucking save the day. And then Spectre pulls him back into the pocket dimension and is like, "Damn, dude, that wasn't an option.
You were all right. Norman.
That wasn't on the. I didn't have a write-in section for who's right and wrong because as the bombs drop, the Spectre is like, who should live, metahumans or humans?
Oh yeah, he was getting with that.
And Norman McKay is like, what the fuck, dude?
I don't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to die.
But this is an incredible book. And then there's a little after epilogue where Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all meet up in the diner that Booster Gold owns.
The Booster Gold's restaurant.
That's all superhero memorabilia themed, and it's fun, and they're fucking servers dressed like Robin, and Batman's all annoyed.
And Batman, people don't know who he is. Some
guy's like, "Hey, excuse me, are you?" And Batman's like,
yes.
And then he's like, using the ketchup we just ran out, and then Bruce Wayne's like, "Oh yeah, I guess. Okay, here you go." Which is crazy because not only is he Bruce Wayne, should be super recognizable as a kind of philanthropist playboy, but also he's got that weird like fucking exoskeleton he's always wearing in this book.
It's a good
like that should be pretty recognizable. And I think at this point in this continuity, he's publicly Batman.
Well, he's also, I think he kind of recluse too. He ended up like just hiding.
That's true, but
let his bots do all the work.
Yeah, but people know that Bruce Wayne is Batman in this continuity.
Yeah,
but Superman and Diana, they show up. What is it, like a week or two later?
It was like a month or something.
1 year actually.
Yeah.
It's 1 year later. They all meet up, and they're talking about stuff. And Batman's like, at the end of the dinner, Batman's like, why the fuck did we meet up for this? You guys have basically just told me, like, you could have sent an email.
No, they wanted to get together.
You could have sent an email. Well, but it's because Diana and Superman had news, and they wanted to surprise him. They wanted to see the shock on his face when they announced that they were pregnant. And Batman announces it before they can.
Classic Batman.
And then they're like, "Fuck you, Uno reverse card. You're the Godfather."
Our actual news for you was you're the Godfather.
We want you to raise him.
I'm pretty sure. I want to think that Wonder Woman said that on the spot.
No, I do too because it surprises Clark too. Look, Clark goes, "What?" Clark's like, I didn't okay this." But then it's a beautiful little scene where they walk out with a new hope for the future.
Yeah, a child that's gonna be raised by the three.
Yeah,
big three.
And then right before they walk out, Bruce catches Norman McKay
and the Spectre in his human form having food,
having the Spectre special, which is spinach and cottage cheese.
The idea of Spectre looking at his
Spectre platter.
That's the Spectre platter. Is that how they?
And then Norman McKay's like, "Hey, it's just nice to be remembered, right? Like, come on."
That's so nice.
And then I don't know if you caught this, but if you see right there, that's
Sandman.
That's the Sandman stuff as they walk out.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Isn't that neat? That's a cool little callback to the beginning of the book. And also after that, most Kingdom Come issues, they come with a bunch of little behind the scenes scripts and stuff.
Your issue's better. It has more bonus stuff.
It is a cool issue.
I hate making that mistake when you buy a book but you don't get the cool bonus stuff afterwards.
This is my second read of this book, and it holds up just as much. And I think I read this book at peak COVID, so it was hitting a lot of like personal notes for me. But also, I think it is a good Superman story. I think it's a beautiful Superman story.
Oh yeah, it's a good Justice League.
Norman McKay. I think Superman's one of those characters where he shines when the focus is on someone who isn't super.
Don't say that.
I think that's true. I think he shines.
That is a good point, though.
You know what I mean? Like, I think the best Superman books revolve around Jimmy Olsen getting into shit.
You mean Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the book that we read this week, Kingdom Come. How, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much would you recommend this book to our readers?
Oh my god, I give it a 4. It's pretty good.
I give it a 5. I give it a full 5. I think if you're getting into comics, I think if you're interested in DC and you really want something that is visually striking,
it's a self-contained story,
a good story that really captures the essence of the big three, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
This is a good start. This is a good place to either start, just to get an idea of these characters, or even to just get a new take if you are kind of getting tired of these characters and you haven't come across this yet. And fun fact, this universe that you just read is rumored to be what James Gunn is cooking up for the new movie universe. Something closer inspired to this.
We're gonna call it Superman Kingdom Come.
I think it'd be interesting to see a movie universe where the big classic superheroes that were normally wanting to be the mainstays are older and maybe take a backseat to some of the younger characters. Mm-hmm. But that's Kingdom Come. We talked about doing more segments, being a little easier to access in this new season for you guys.
I think we spent about 30 minutes on Kingdom Come, which is warranted. It was a good book.
So we're moving on to our next segment.
I want to talk about Peacemaker now.
You want to talk about Peacemaker?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, that is a short series.
So Peacemaker finally got like a one-shot comic series. After like how many years?
How many issues was it?
It was 6.
It's a 6-issue limited series.
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
Just Peacemaker tries hard.
Tries hard.
It's about our boy Peacemaker. It's kind of based off the TV show where he's kind of John Cena like. His personality is very inspired from the show and movies.
He looks exactly like he does in the movies. If you loved John Cena in The Suicide Squad by James Gunn
and
the show Peacemaker, and you are scratching for more and you can't fill that itch and you can't wait for season 2, this is a great book to pick up.
Yeah, pretty simple story. He gets a dog.
Bruce Wayne.
He calls it Bruce Wayne, and he gets kidnapped by the Brain.
Well, it gets kidnapped, and then they're holding it hostage to have him go and do...
to steal some Deathstroke DNA.
Hell yeah.
That was fun.
So, Major Mala...
Major Mala and the Brain betray our buddy. They take the DNA and they shoot him in the back, and they say, you know what, we're going to keep the dog because this dog was actually pretty nice to us when we were having it hostage. So
I think the fucked up thing about the first issue is that Major Mala acts like he's becoming friends with Chris.
He acts like friends, and then to the very end, because like it was funny because he wasn't speaking at all.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's kind of weird because every time I seen Mala, he's very
He's always speaking. He's like speaking a lot of French.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, damn, machine gun to the back.
Yeah, he machine guns him to the back, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, this shit sucks. The things that you showed me that you thought I liked, they suck.
We weren't really hanging out. I actually hated you."
Yeah,
the shit that he says. It's really sad. It's pretty cool that he gets his parole officer to help him go go rescue his dog. Who turns out to be an old superhero from the Golden Age, the Red Bee.
The Red Bee.
I never heard of this guy before until
You've never heard of DC classic character, the Red Bee?
No.
Yeah, me neither. This one was a weird one for me too.
But
he's a World War II era metahuman.
Yeah, he has super strength. He is super durable, and
he trains
a bee. One bee. He has one bee
at a time.
It did lead to that funny joke when they're in the Amazon and like they're fighting a bunch of like drug dealers and like the bees flying around and the guy's all like, it's a bee, get away from me, and then the henchman's like, hey man, we're in the Amazon, you gotta be more scared than a bee. And then the bee came to him, he's like, oh shit, that's coming to me now.
Jeez. Yeah, but it was a fun book.
You remember the Black Hawk in that story?
Yeah.
That old guy in the
yes, the pilot that the Red Bee is friends with. I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yeah, that's what the Black Hawks are, and that big war wheel that they're fighting at the very end.
Also, at one point Red Bee gives him his tragic backstory that the Brain killed his old World War II troop, or was it Immortus? It was the Brain.
Yes, the Brain. The Brain. They said in this. I guess they retconned it to where like a lot of World War II weaponries from those old comic books were made by the Brain, because that war wheel they saw it was a big deal at the end. That was actually a Black Hawk's recurring villain, a big ass fucking wheel that shoots guns everywhere, and they have to like destroy it a couple times.
That's a Spider-Man villain in Marvel called Big Wheel.
Who would want to fight, Big Wheel or War Wheel?
Big Wheel.
But it's obviously War Wheel.
Eric, Big Wheel is big.
How big? Is it bigger than War Wheel?
I mean, his name is War Wheel, not Big Wheel. Right?
We'll have to discuss this
Probably
another time.
bigger. No,
I do have to say that by the end, Red Bee kind of takes over the story. Kind of like
he
defeats Deathstroke. He defeats the Brain
because he's at first he's introduced as Chris's parole officer.
Yes,
right. Chris being Peacemaker's real name. And then he reveals himself to be the Red Bee to help Chris go get his dog back because he's like, I think this is actually healthy. I think you need to go do this, and I'm going to help you do this. And then as he's talking to Chris, he's like showing him, he's telling him his backstory, how he lost his friends, how he let go of all of that, right? And then they run into the War Wheel,
which gives him PTSD,
which gives him a little bit of PTSD. And he even calls Waller and is like, I got to go save Bruce Wayne. And Waller's like, they had Bruce Wayne.
They had Bruce Wayne? She's like, hold on, Chris. Get the military on standby. She
opens up the laptop with all of the kill switches for the Suicide Squad to like get them going.
Yeah, she's getting all these people prepped up. And she's like, where's Bruce Wayne right now? And then like they had a little keep talking about it like it's serious. But then it revealed like, I'm going to get my dog back.
And then she's like, your dog? Your dog's name Bruce Wayne? He's like, yeah, Bruce Wayne Jr.
Did I not tell you this? And then she just hangs up on him.
She just hangs up on him.
That is so funny.
And then she hovers over his kill button for a minute. Remember that? There's a panel where she's just like...
And then she just, not today.
Closes the case.
That's so sad.
But yeah, he...
So this Red Bee ends up also becoming like a father figure kind of to Peacemaker. This is a guy that gives him advice and listens to his stupid shit because... It kind of, like I say, it kind of inspired from the TV show where he has like a bad dad and all that stuff.
Yeah, and of course, if he's going to be his like fill-in father figure that heals that positive older male influence that Chris needed as a child, they're going to have to kill him off.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's just like if you're going to have like Peacemaker finally has his own story for like a long time, and my thing is about me, if you're going to be the namesake character, you should kind of like do something at the end.
Yeah.
Be the hero. And I'm not saying it's bad, but like Red Bee kind of like stealing the show near the end and Kim just like, all right, Chris, you just go away. I'm going to save the day now. And
I think that's a big part of Chris's journey though, too.
Well, there better be a sequel to this.
It's a step back.
If that's true, then I hope Peacemaker at least gets one more story.
It might be.
That would be nice.
But I would honestly, like, it was fun. It was good. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 recommendation scale.
I'll be the same. 3 out of 5.
I just don't know how much I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, like, if you really like the movies, go for it. Definitely do it. It'll be super accessible to you. It introduces you to some cool characters, like it introduces Mortis.
Yeah, and Mortis, the Brain,
Mala,
Red Bee,
Deathstroke,
the War Wheel. Oh, Snowflame was in it too.
Snowflame was in it. That's true.
That's a guy who
that is a guy who gets superpowers from doing cocaine.
Yep. That guy exists.
He's in it. He is in a comic book in 2021.
You know, before this, he was like apparently he was a recurring Catwoman villain. Like
he was a recurring Catwoman villain?
Yeah, well, like when Catwoman had her own story. Apparently he made a couple appearances as a villain.
That's nuts. That's insane.
I'm glad DC hasn't forgotten him.
God. But yeah, no, Peacemaker what was it? Peacemaker tries hard. Peacemaker tries hard. Yeah, 3 out of 5 recommendation.
There's
definitely go for it.
Go find it.
Oh, yeah, trade version would be the best way to read that, I think, because we were reading it week to week or month to month, I think.
Yeah, when it came out.
Yeah. But yeah, we wanted to, give you guys that's our books that we've read together that we wanted to rate and talk about on today's book club portion. But let's get into the news. Let's get into comic news. Maybe stuff that you guys are aware of. The Galactic French Horn is actually reporting, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's kind of like the Daily Bugle on your planet.
Well, this is the Galactic French Horn.
It's for space.
Yeah, it's a space thing. You guys wouldn't understand.
Crazy. This used to be a One Piece podcast, and we'll talk about One Piece.
There's a little slice of One Piece.
Maybe not today, but we'll talk about some news about One Piece because the One Piece got announced. Do you know what that is, Eric?
Wait, is that the anime?
That's the anime.
Oh,
how do you feel?
About fucking time,
right?
As much as Toei has done a lot for the series with the great voice acting and some really good scenes, and they're especially good in the early days, but now. We need to like rehash some of those old stories.
Well, I think it's interesting because when One Piece is compared to Naruto, Naruto's international success was way bigger, right? right.
At first, yeah.
Mostly One Piece's success was domestic. It was mostly selling a lot in Japan, right? Whereas most Naruto fans were American because when it came to America, the way Naruto was released, it was a little more grown up.
Yeah, it was it was barely censored. The anime was barely censored, while the One Piece
anime, blood, and then
blood, dude. That was shocking to me as a kid.
The One Piece anime debuted in America on 4Kids.
Yes, the same people who dubbed the Pokemon,
who dubbed Digimon,
who dubbed Tokyo Mew Mew. They took out the blood. They replaced the beer with juice.
They replaced the cigarettes with lollipops.
The guns with pop guns or water guns.
Oh, dude. Like, you thought them changing a rice ball to a donut in Pokemon was bad, dude. Wait until some of the choices they made for the 4Kids dub.
But I will say this for the 4Kids dub. They did have some good choices for voice acting.
Voice acting, like voices.
Yeah, voices. Maybe not voice direction because they were still kind of annoying, but I felt like if it was a good voice director, they could guide these people to be better. But
it was just presented more as a goofy kids cartoon than a serious.
Except when the fight scenes came on. Apparently, it was still kind of laid back, but they didn't hold back on some of the punches, I believe.
But it just didn't lend well to get a big following over here. The way it was released
had a bigger following.
So honestly. I think it'll be cool to see. One Piece getting a fresh animation that is targeted towards an international audience.
This is good because when the live action show came out, people were all like, "Oh, I kind of want to watch the anime now, but it's way too long." Well, now they get a new anime to start from.
Dude,
it's gonna be great.
My aunt loves the live action.
Really?
She's Lanky Dice's mom. Loves the live action.
Dude, my mom loves the live action.
Dude, I think my mom watched the live action.
I was watching the last
moms
episode.
Moms love the live action.
I was watching because she's from the Philippines. I was watching the when they're on Nami's village and they're at her house and she's like, I grew up on one of those houses. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. God. I'm excited for the One Piece because as someone who has been reading the manga.
You just got started on it.
And just caught up to it. I don't like the anime. I only watch the anime when there's a really interesting fight scene or if it's Thriller Bark.
Or a funny compilation.
Or funny compilations. Or that scene where Usopp and Frankie are dancing on that table. They were killing it, dude.
The anime has done its own fair share of good additions, but most of all, it's a lot of unnecessary stuff.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I'm pumped. I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be for me. It's gonna be like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I feel like it's just gonna be
One Piece Brotherhood.
One Piece Nakama.
One Piece Ultimate.
It's called the One Piece. That's what it's called. But I think it'll do the thing. The pacing won't be so bad. You know what I mean? It'll be what One Piece right now is at what 1,000 what? How many episodes?
It's over 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over 1,000. I think honestly, the One Piece might be around 900. It's gonna be like One Piece's own Dragon Ball Z Kai. You know when Kai cut out all the reaction shots and, and the filler shots and the panning shots and the screaming shots.
Fillers.
That's what I'm saying. The pacing's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be half the episodes to get through an arc.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
I haven't.
I've been waiting 84
It's like when I read Berserk and you guys were like, it's been 6 months since the last chapter. And I was like, oh, it's about to come out? I just caught up.
Or those other fans who are like, it's been 5 years and they're still in the sea.
Oda's been in surgery for 2 months. And it's like, oh, well, I just caught up to Ennis Lobby. Yeah, I hate you.
Sometimes manga fans are pretty ungrateful, but no.
But yeah, so that's the One Piece. And then other news, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League just got leaked, allegedly. The story got leaked. It looks dumb. It looks as dumb as the rest of the game.
Yeah.
You can disagree.
No. It doesn't look... It looks kind of... I don't know how to put it, but...
It's like Poison Ivy is 9, and Lex Luthor sends them to an alternate Earth, and they're on the alternate Earth, and they meet the alternate Earth Lex Luthor, and then they kill Flash, and then they go back to Earth 1, which is what they're calling it in the leak, but it can't be Earth 1, because Earth 1's a different continuity. It just looks bad. It revolves around them jumping from Earth to Earth, where the same situation's happening, but different outcomes, and it's like, what? This is oh, so we can replay the same missions over and over again?
That's what it is.
With different skins. You can give us the same gameplay repetitively and make me feel like I'm doing something new, even though I'm not doing anything. Oh, the map's reversed. I start at the end of it, and the boss fight's at the start of it. Oh, crazy. Thank
Apparently
you.
Poison Ivy's 9 now. You
Jesus.
didn't
Poison
know
Ivy got resurrected as being 9 years old, and Harley's like, your name's Poison Ivy. And Poison Ivy's like, that's stupid. I never called myself that.
Don't
and
you
then
just love
Harley
jokes
Quinn's
like
like,
that?
we used to scissor. And then Boomerang's like, you can't say that to a child, Harley.
Oh my God, that is fucked up.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm fine with her being 9. I'm like, I'm not.
I didn't say it like that.
I'm not cool with her being 9, dude. What
I
the
didn't
fuck?
say I was fine with it. Oh, well, I was.
You were literally like, that's kind of a cool idea. And I was like, no, especially in a story that involves Harley Quinn post their romantic interest. I don't like that. That's strange.
Right. Of course, they're going to not miss an opportunity to make something like that, make a joke like that.
Stupid game. I'm glad that it's just microtransactions and I can ignore it.
Yeah, you seen those screenshots of like the menu screen for a PvE co-op game?
Stupid.
Warner
Dumb.
Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
We know that. We played Mortal Kombat, so we know how fucked up it is.
Dude, that new Mortal Kombat. I don't even want to. It's all microtransactions.
I don't think. Is it not as bad as the?
I don't have any. No, I think it's better than the last game because in the last game, like the gear system made me feel like I was constantly getting like I hate gear systems. Let's not get me wrong. I do not like gear systems, but it was expansive enough to make me feel like I was getting new looks for my characters every so often. Whereas this game, the only way you're going to get new looks is if you spend money.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's one gear piece for every character, and they're all kind of repeated and the same. So it's kind of hard to make me feel like, you know, that I'm earning anything or anything's changing. You know?
Yeah.
But that's some news that we wanted to get into because again we wanted it to be a little more accessible. Shout some news, what's going on out in the sphere,
at least whatever interests us,
or what interests us. Yeah, I mean, what interests us should interest you. You're listening to this.
Yeah, you can only be interested in something that we're interested in.
Settle down.
All right,
you're getting aggressive.
Stop being authoritative, Eric.
But we have another new segment outside of the news. I'd like to educate you guys on a niche interest of mine inside of comic books. Comic books already a niche interest. Another interest inside of that. Villains of the week.
Villains of the week.
And that's what we'll call this. Villains of the week. Every week.
Wait, let's say it at the same time. Okay,
1, 3, 7. 1, 2. Wait, no, I go 1, you go 2. I'll go 3, you go 4, and then we say it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Villains of the week. All right, we fucked. That was okay.
We'll work on it.
One more time. 1, 2, 3,
4.
Villain of the week. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna come, or Eric's gonna come.
Yeah.
That's why it's called an orgasm.
We're both coming.
That's terrible. Shout out Josh Giggling.
Villains. Your favorite niche is like dumb villains.
Dumb villains. Villains who
backstories.
show up for 1 week and then disappear and then become important or team up later, right?
Yeah.
So this week I want to talk about
you actually brought
the Brothers Grimm. The Brother Grimm.
You finished them.
I made custom figures of the Brother Grimm. The Brothers Grimm.
I was literally hanging out with you yesterday.
I was showing you them, and I was like, I'm going to paint these and make these action figures.
Yeah, look at these blank slates. I'm going to paint these.
Here.
And they're here. You actually did them. I'm impressed.
1 second.
Here, hold that. So he's taking out his toys. I'm sorry, his figures that he custom made himself.
They're not toys, Mom. They're customizable. They're customized action figures.
You did a really good job. I'm just saying, man.
I appreciate that. I spent way too much time on them. I was up until about 1 a.m. painting, and fucking priming and sanding and painting again.
Priming and sanding and painting and priming and sanding and priming and sanding.
Sanding and painting. But these, Eric, are the Brothers Grimm. The Brothers Grimm, to give you a full breakdown, we have to talk about a man named Nathan Dolly. Nathan Dolly, a.k.a. Mr. Dolly.
What? This is a hero?
This is a villain. It's a man who befriended a voodoo shaman man and was taught and bought a doll from him, a doll that he could magically reform to be another person's likeness, and then whatever he did to that doll happened to that person, right? He could he had like this like clay voodoo doll that he mastered into forming into another person right before your eyes. So, and he was using it to go to rich person after rich person, turn the doll into that rich person, and then make them sign over a bunch of their money to him. That was his scheme.
Genius idea.
That's all he was doing.
Doesn't seem like illegal.
That's all. It's very illegal.
Is voodoo in the Constitution? I don't think so.
I guess voodoo does it. I don't know. Is it voodoo? Is it a crime if you rob someone using a voodoo doll?
Yeah.
If I made a voodoo doll of Eric and made him go to it, and then we went to an ATM and I made his voodoo doll give me all the money in his account, is that really a crime?
Well, if you do it to me, then yeah.
Oh, well, if it happens to me, yeah.
It was me.
And that's how the ruling class treats it. So, anyways,
Mr. Dolly and his
so he's doing the scheme on this big steel baron.
I get it,
Mr.
Dolly, and he has a voodoo doll.
Nathan Dolly.
Go on.
Mr. Dolly isn't even like it's not like a superhero name. That's literally just his name because he's Nathan Dolly. He's Mr. Dolly.
Well, if he refers himself as Mr. Dolly, it's an alias.
So he's doing his thing, but to one of the guys he's doing his thing to, that guy was working with Stark Industries. And when he out of nowhere pulls out of a deal that he was going to do with Stark is like, what the hell? What the heck? And he goes and he sees him. He's like, hey, dude, we had this deal set up. Like, what are we doing? Like, why did you pull out? Actually, who's that fucking freak on your yard with a doll?
What is that how he got discovered?
Yeah.
What the fuck, Mr. Dolly?
But Iron Man goes over and tries to fight him, and Mr. Dolly fucks with him, and Iron Man has to run away because he beats Iron Man in the first fight. It's one of those villains of the week. Like, he beats him, he runs away.
Okay, so this is an Iron Man villain.
So anyways, Iron Man comes back with a new suit, the classic Iron Man shtick. And eventually he uses a force beam to change the doll into Mr. Dolly as like Mr. Dolly drops the doll as it's formed up as Iron Man to damage Iron Man. So he damages himself, not like he gets defeated, gets put away. Years later, he loses his doll, right? Iron Man takes the doll away from him, destroys it, whatever. Years later, he's out and about. He goes to another voodoo guy and he buys these two dolls that the voodoo guy's like, you can transfer your soul into these dolls, making them living dolls. And he's like, okay. And then he buys two and he goes home and he sets them down. And then we cut back to the shop and the guy's like, probably should have told that guy not to do the ritual in the same room as two dolls, because that can be real dangerous.
Yeah, what the heck? You should probably fall.
Because he doesn't. He's like, maybe I should have given him the instruction manual. And then Mr. Dolly's doing the ritual, and his spirit comes out of his body, and instead of entering one of the dolls, it splits in two and enters each doll. And then his wife, God, I can't remember. Priscilla Dolly.
It's Mrs. Dolly.
I know it's Mrs. Dolly, bastard, but her name is Priscilla Dolly. She treats the two dolls as her sons, and they in turn act like her sons, and they have like conflicting personalities, and they're like doing all these crimes, and they're like stealing money from, like, one of them is like very showy and very like almost Joker-esque in his like way he does crime. Like, he shows up to a playhouse of Hansel and Gretel, and he like shows up and he's like, I'm Brother Grimm, tra-la, give me shekels, give me greenbacks, give me coin, baby. Lord. That's what I want.
Why does he talk like that?
And then the other Brother Grimm is out there doing crime, and he's like breaking into like a senator's house and like waking him up in the middle of the night, like holding him by the throat, like, I'm taking you to the fucking bank and you're gonna withdraw all of your cash, $100,000 straight into my pockets, or I'll fucking kill you and expose you as a fraud.
So his name is Grimm 2, and
his name, no, it's Grimm Brother 1? Grimm. So in his initial appearance as Brother Grimm, he shows up in Spider-Woman number 3, 1978. Oh, he's a
Spider-Woman villain.
These guys are.
So
they're in California, and they're terrorizing this town, right? They're stealing from here, they're stealing from there. Everybody thinks it's one dude. And then like this guy called the Hangman shows up and fights one of the brothers with Spider-Woman, and then Spider-Woman. The entire time, Spider-Woman's not even interested in fighting these criminals. She's just like what happened to my dad? Also, these freaks are here throwing eggs at me and
Brother Grimm.
Anyways, a couple of issues later, about 9, They show back up. Oh, by the way, this entire time from issue number 3 all the way up to issue 12, Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, is living with Priscilla Dolly and her 2 sons.
What?
She doesn't know. She's like renting a room from them, and she doesn't know. She's not interested in fighting crime. She's not interested in fighting Brother Grimm. She's only interested in finding her father's killer, but this is also just happening. That's how comics kind of were sometimes.
Yeah.
So
fucking weirdos.
they're fucking weird, dude. So anyways, these guys need to find a human body to put their one soul of their father, which it's not really their dad, it's their one soul that's split into 2 bodies, back into a human form, right? So Priscilla Dolly's trying to do this, and they get Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman's boyfriend, and they tie him up, and like they're doing the transfer, but then she thwarts it, and the soul goes, and there's no body for it to go into, so Nathan Dolly dies, right? Woo! That's the end of the Brothers Grimm, William and Jake Dolly. That's what they were called when they were in the 2 separate bodies.
What? They're not Brother Grimm?
Not anymore, because these 2 idiots buy the playhouse that Priscilla Dolly was like using as like a front to like do these crimes and like hide all of the Goonie stuff.
Priscilla Dolly was the...
She was trying to get her husband back.
Okay.
Are you lost?
I thought you mentioned something about them, like she was backing these crime guys up, their crimes.
She was acting as their mom and but she wasn't really their mom. She did know that.
That she knew that they were doing crimes and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was back. She was supporting them through that. She was trying to get all the circumstances ready to bring her husband back.
And while she's doing all this crime and stuff, she let Spider-Woman
live in her house.
Well, okay.
She didn't know.
Keep going.
So 6 years later, 1984, Iron Man 188, right? Barton and I forget the other guy's name. Dang it. But these 2 brothers buy the playhouse that Priscilla Dolly was working out of.
She left the dolls there.
She left the costumes. They find the Brothers Grimm costumes.
Oh, they found the costume.
Yes, and they put them on, right? And let me explain their powers a little bit. They don't explain them at all. They'll show up and they'll throw ropes out of their fingertips, and they'll throw eggs at people, and they fly on these little like clouds that are made of like solid matter, and there's like flying stars that they can summon and fly on, and they can shoot gas that knocks people out from their fingertips. They do a bunch of weird magical shit, and it's all because of the costumes, the doll costumes. And so one of the brothers is like, they were like kicking around this old theater, and they're like, fuck, man, we were trying to make a retail investment. We wanted to buy that diner over there off of like the mountains on that pristine location, but that idiot, that fucking asshole bought it out from under us, and now we're stuck with this shitty little playhouse that we have to convert and put a bunch of work into. And the other brother's like, dude, look, I found these costumes from those guys who like threw eggs at Spider-Woman 6 years ago. And then his brother's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Take that shit off, dude. And then he was like, no, but like if the costumes are hidden here, maybe all of their other gadgets are. And then he like shoots his hand out and is like, come on, bro, grab my hand. And he like wraps his brother up with the powers. And they're like, oh, fuck, no, it's the suits that have all of the hidden abilities. And they decide to put the suits on, fly over to the diner, and terrorize the guy who bought the diner they wanted.
Scooby-Doo situation.
But Iron Man's there. And like, so they show
Iron Man's here to save this one diner.
No, he's not. He's not there to save the diner. He was there having lunch with his friends. He's just there. And like,
he's just
the brothers Grimm are like, we're fucking here. Tra-la.
Why the fuck are the Avengers here?
And then like yeah, because Barton is the one who wanted to put the suit on.
Yeah.
And his other brother is like, dude, like they get there and he's like, you told me this would be easy. And then Barton's like, fuck it, we're fighting Iron Man. And they do. They like fight Iron Man, dude. And they beat him They don't beat him. They hold him at bay and they get away from him. And they decide to go back. But the whole time, Iron Man's waiting for them back there. And when they show back up, he eventually defeats them. But they're like throwing eggs at him, and they're throwing beans at him, and they're like making magic beans grow into giant vines and shit. So
what is this?
Their power.
I guess their power.
Their power is the suit. The suit gives them prestidigitation. which if you've played D&D, you might be familiar with that spell.
Yeah.
You can kind of in the game of D&D, prestidigitation.
Yes, please tell everybody who doesn't know. Like,
so in the game of D&D, you can do stuff like you can clean things, you can soil things, you can make things smell nice, you can do a little sensory effect that has no like actual effect on anyone. But in the comic universe, that means that they can just apparate golden eggs that have acid in them. They can shoot smoke bombs. They can throw cream pies.
See. So because they're named the Brothers Grimm,
they have a bunch of access to fairy tale bullshit that they can manifest out of their pockets. Cleavers count too, because like a meat cleaver is like the witch in the woods chopping up the kids, right?
My favorite one, my favorite story.
But let's see. Oh, Percy and Barton Grimes is the second pair. It's the two brothers who buy the theater.
Percy and Barton
Grimes.
Were they still called Brothers Grimm in the last guys?
Yeah, they call themselves Brothers Grimm. They're in Fresno, California, home of the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Careful out there, all you Fresno Knights or whatever they're called.
But they show up a couple other times through comics, and that's kind of their first couple appearances. That's their first two appearances. Their most notable and most recent appearance in my head is when Dr. Octopus cloned himself a Peter Parker body and moved to San Francisco to become a superhero in his own right, and he became the Superior Octopus. And the first thing that he encounters while he's out,
Brothers Grimm,
he encounters the Night Shift. Which is a team that the Brothers Grimm is on. It's a bunch of spooky themed villains. But yeah, so they fight Captain America. Moon Knight hangs out with them for a little while. Crossfire, which is another villain we might get to later.
So did you meet these guys while reading Moon Knight? Did you pop?
I actually met these guys while reading Superior Spider, or Superior Octopus, and I just like their look. And then I did some research on them. I like their power and their shtick. Like I thought their shtick was funny.
I like their shtick too. I like how there's always two of them. You need.
They're the Brothers Grimm.
They're the Brothers Grimm. They're a duo.
And they're like just two dudes. They're just like two guys who decided to go be criminals on a whim. And got low key possessed by the suit's kind of evil intentions and powers. They fought Captain America. They fought an Iron Man. They were a big villain of Hawkeye for a little bit when Crossfire put out a hit on Hawkeye's arm.
His arm?
Yeah. Like
just his arm?
That's like Deadshot putting out a hit on Green Arrow's arm, like his drawing arm. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
Well,
I feel like killing him would be a little bit easier.
Nah, but it's more of like a trophy thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's worse than killing him because you take away his ability to what he can do. You know what I mean?
That is even worse. That's like hell right there.
They joined the Brotherhood of Evil for a little bit.
What are they even mutants?
Oh no, sorry, Masters of Evil, not Brotherhood of Evil. Sorry, listeners. They're not mutants. They're just two dudes who find some suits.
Can you imagine them like, yes, this is our mutant powers to bring out golden eggs.
They're West Coast based, so they're based in San Francisco. So they fight the West Coast Avengers a lot, and they are that level of villain where like they're just two normal dudes at the end of the day. So like when the Skrulls invade, they actually fight to save the world. Like they fight on the side of the good guys to stop the alien invasion.
Fuck aliens. We're gonna take over. The Brothers Grimm is gonna take over the world, not you aliens.
They do also attack Asgard when Norman Osborn leads a raid on Asgard. Yeah.
These guys lead as
no, they don't. They don't lead a raid on Asgard. They join a raid on Asgard, led by Norman Osborn.
Don't get me excited like that, because if you tell me that guy's amazing, they're automatically level 10 if they're like raiding Asgard.
So both of them have increased durability. They have a sleight of hand factor where they can kind of pull. They're like magicians, really. They have these 5-pointed stars that they can fly around on. They have explosive eggs and all that. And they're kind of goofy, but they're goofy in that way that like they're a little dangerous. Like you get they throw a cream pie at you and you're like, oh, a pie, but then it hits you and it's acid and it melts you.
It's always acid.
Yeah.
But these guys do seem like a threat.
And that's why if I were to have them join our guild of evil inspired by
the Guild of Calamitous Intent.
The Guild of Calamitous Intent. Trademarked, of course.
TM.
I give them a 7.
A 7.
I'd give these guys a 7. These are a 7.
All right, well, let's go.
They are menacing.
Let's do a little like recap here. All right, so they fought against big time superheroes like
Iron Man, Spider-Woman, Captain America.
They have their own team of like
they have been on the Masters of Evil, the Night Shift, and they
lead their own team of super people.
I wouldn't call them the leaders.
Okay, they're not the leaders. They joined that group of like
they were on that team.
So they never led a group.
I don't know if they've ever led. I don't think they've ever led a group. They let's see. They're mostly just kind of gang guys.
I mean, sure they can. I guess they can fight against Iron Man and Captain America, but how much of a threat were they to them?
I honestly okay. So all right, at the time that they fought Iron Man was James Rhodes. It wasn't Tony Stark.
Wait, so how? Okay, here's a better question. What year was this? What year was this?
So okay, so they first showed up as Brothers Grimm in 1978, Spider-Woman #3.
Okay,
then they showed up in 1984, Iron Man 188.
It's not the Iron Man, but it was another Iron Man.
That's Iron Man. That's Iron Man. That's Iron Man 1963 or something, all the way up to 1996.
Was he the first Iron Man?
No, that in Marvel, the series just goes. So that series starts with Iron Man #1 that came out in the 60s. And then it just kept going until 96. And then they stopped it and hard rebooted it. And was like, this Iron Man 1996 up to 2008, I think is that.
So they got
so Tony Stark was Iron Man in this series, but it's issue 1 to 188, 20 plus years have passed of storytelling. You understand that?
Kind of. But anyway, yeah, so these people, so you're saying these guys are from like the
80s.
Bronze, the 80s. So, I'm going to give them, well, these guys more, but from my outside perspective, I think I'll give them a 5.
A 5? Yeah. These guys are not a 5. I think you want so badly to find the middle ground of what the scale is.
No. That's not true. To me, what you
say to me. There's 2 of them.
Yeah?
There's 2 of them with the same powers. They throw exploding eggs, melting pies, sleeping gas.
I feel like anybody can dodge. Well, that is a good power. I feel like a lot of people can dodge. Sure,
they also have this. They also have. They have this shtick where they like somebody goes to tackle them, and then the costume deflates, and then they're like, "Haha, I was behind you."
I'm giving them a 5 because I feel like what you're telling me, they do have a oppressive arsenal of schemes and stuff, and they do sound like they can be like a nuisance for the higher superheroes, but I don't know, they haven't really led anybody. They don't seem like they could
I don't think leadership is a factor in this.
I don't think they could hold a city ransom.
I think these guys could hold my heart ransom. I'd at least give them a 6. I would agree with you if you said 6.
All right, we'll reach the middle ground. 6.
I think 6 is a fair rating for them. I think 7 because I think they are truly capable.
Okay, we'll put them down for 6, and then we'll have them opening for 7. When there's an opening for a 7th position, we'll put them.
We'll reevaluate once we have more villains stored
up
in
for
this.
reevaluation. How about that?
I got you. Understand.
That was fun.
But yeah, so that's the villain of the week. Next week, you're going to bring someone to the table.
Oh, yes, I wish I...
Are you going to make an action figure?
Oh, I wish. I wish I had your time and skills to
I don't have that much time. I sacrificed a lot of sleep to do it.
Hey, it worked out, dude. Look at them. I'm glad you didn't have to waste time on the skull, too, because this figure already came with the skull.
If you guys want to see the figure, we will be posting a bunch of... I am a big toy collector. I love Marvel Legends. I'll be posting a bunch of pictures of them fighting several different characters. Also, some screen caps of comics I've read with them in there, just showing off some of their sillier moments, some of their silly screen captures. They're kind of like when they were 2 guys in one guy in 2 different bodies. They were really sexist. They kept calling Spider-Woman a female, and then like there's this
female.
One. Yeah, they keep calling.
What are you doing, female?
No, it's really gross. And there's one scene. Let me see if I can't find it. He yells at a woman. She goes, "Oh my God!" And he goes, "Oh, shush, Butterball. Your God is probably Porky Pig.
Butterball.
Now then, my God is money. Shekels, cash, the big green cheese."
That's like your line. That's like your favorite Brothers Grimm line. That's a good line.
This is a good one. This is a good panel. I don't know who you are, lady. Frankly, I don't even care. And he's grabbing a fireman's axe off the wall to swing at Spider-Woman.
Oh man.
And then another one. This is it right here. He goes, Strength alone is not Brother Grimm's way, woman. I possess the uncanny ability to think and act simultaneously.
What?
Witness how a common table lamp can become an instrument of death. And then he just fucking chucks a table lamp at Spider-Woman. He just throws a table lamp at her.
These people are level 7.
These guys are... I think... Okay. If I'm going to be... I think overall they're a level 7. I think everything included... in terms of character-wise, level 7. I think the original Brothers Grimm are closer to a 5.
Okay.
I think William and Jake Dolly, when they were Nathan Dolly split into 2 living dolls, I think that's a level 5 because Spider-Woman lived with him and they couldn't put it together. But I think once those goofy characters are long gone and these kind of more realistic, more down-to-earth guys who are just down on their luck, 2 brothers who like really nothing's going right for them, and they find the magic. They fall into it. They fall into supervillainy. I think they're 7s because they fall into it, but they're not. They don't shy from it.
Well, to me,
they join the Masters of Evil. They join the Night Shift, and they're predominant members in the Night Shift. They're like, if you were gonna say Night Shift to me and tell me to do a lineup, they would always be on it. You know what I mean? Like they're like I say, hey, say a bunch of Avengers right now, Eric.
Really?
Yeah, just say some Avengers.
Right,
Tell me an
Hawkeye.
Avenger. Give me an Avengers team. Go.
Just a lineup?
Just give me a lineup of Avengers.
All right. Vision, Hawkeye, Thor, Captain America, Hulk.
Give me a lineup of X-Men.
X-Men. Okay. Wolverine, Jube.
Okay.
Colossus.
Okay.
Storm.
Uh-huh.
Gabbett.
You notice how you said Wolverine for X-Men and like Captain America or Thor or Hulk for Avengers? Like those are mainstays in those teams. Like I don't think really a team is that without one of those like identifying characters. And yeah, I mean, yeah, they can be.
What's the name of this team again?
The Night Shift.
Okay, well, is this team a big deal?
The Night Shift.
You keep saying like they're a big deal in the Night Shift. It's a
really
big
West
deal.
Coast. They're the West Coast Avengers like main antagonists, dude. They're the Night Shift.
The West
they got
Coast.
the Gravedigger. They got the Hangman.
First of all,
they got Shriek. They got the Brothers Grimm.
First of all, everyone knows that only crime happens in New York.
No, that's not true.
So there's no point of Avengers.
I think that's
West
another.
Coast.
I think that's another cool thing is that they're a West Coast villain.
Yeah.
So they show another part of the universe that we can get into. But I think
to me a 7 it seems like it's a 7 is like getting into the bigger leagues is my opinion. Like
I would say fighting Iron Man, Captain America is big leagues. I'd say
they
joining
can
the
still
Masters of
lose.
Evil.
Well, guess what? Penny Plunderer fought Batman, and is he a fucking level 10?
But I think it's also on terms of like the level of menace because I don't think Batman would say what Captain America has said about the Brothers Grimm because Captain America has said, I know that they seem goofy, but they pose a real threat.
Okay, you know what? Fine. If Captain America says so, then they can get up a level.
Captain America's like people. The biggest. I think the biggest reason they're a level 7 is because people underestimate them.
They should. Look at them.
No, they shouldn't. That's their whole thing is that they're sleight of hand magicians in terms of their powers.
Yeah, but then when you know,
so if you underestimate them, you lost.
Yeah, but if you know them,
it's like when you fight Naruto Uzumaki. If you've underestimated him, you lost, Neji. I don't care if you're the smartest man in the world.
If you do research on these guys, they won't be such a big deal. Just learn not to get hit by their eggs.
But hear
or
me
pie.
out. Hear me out. You're a hero, right? You just started your hero career in the Marvel universe.
I'm a level 1 hero.
These
of
freaks?
course I'll be fighting these guys.
No. Would you even know about these freaks? You wouldn't. You wouldn't be ready for these freaks.
I guess not.
You wouldn't know about them unless you followed the Night Shift. I just like that name as a team name of villains. The Night Shift. That's just a fun. That sounds like a wrestler stable. By the way,
the more you say it, does sound pretty catchy.
Tag team partners. The Brothers Grimm. And they look like luchadors a little bit. But no, so guys, thanks for listening for this episode. I think we can wrap it here, right?
Yeah, that's a good stopping point. That was fun.
Yeah. Come on back. Oh, next week we won't have an episode. It's the holidays on Earth. So we're going to go ahead and observe that for you guys. We wish everybody a happy Honda days.
Happy Honda days.
Whatever you celebrate, we don't want to, put you in a box, but Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry
Hanukkah.
Space Christmas.
Merry Space Christmas.
Merry Space Hanukkah.
whatever you guys celebrate. Hanukkah's already passed, but belated.
Boxing Day,
the day after. Check us out on Instagram at Book Club from Planet Zero.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we're going to be posting pictures of the Brothers Grimm.
Check out the Brothers Grimm, dude. You're gonna post your panels of them.
I'll post panels of
make
them.
them see how crazy and like threatening they are.
Yeah, I'll show off the eggs
Show off what they're capable of. Yeah, post a picture of that.
That's gonna get posted.
One of them, there's literally one of these guys on top of a building throwing pies.
He's actually on his flying star right there.
He's on a flying star.
He throws magic beans and they grow up and they grab Iron Man and he gets all tangled.
Yeah, because Iron Man didn't know who these guys were at first.
He also had a headache at the time.
I didn't know who you were. I had a headache. I just got done eating.
Yeah, but follow us on Instagram, Book Club from Planet Zero. You get updates from us. You get to see what we're up to, what comics we're reading. We engage with you guys. Follow our Facebook page. Give us a like. Give us a rate on Spotify. Share it with your friends and family. Leave a comment. We usually have a Q&A going on down at the bottom of the episode, asking you something related to the episode, like what you're reading, or maybe a villain of the week that you want to hear about. Maybe make a request, and we'll do some research into a villain. I think that'd be fun.
And also, there's a little Patreon. Do we still have that out?
Yeah, we do have a Patreon.
Go touch that little Patreon button, and just to take a look at it.
Yeah, for $200 a month, I will make you a custom figure once a year. I will make
$200 a month. Yeah. One figure a year. Yeah. That's a good deal.
It's only $2,400 for a custom Christian Rice original Marvel Legend, and it's probably just going to be a repaint. No.
Oh, then what's the word?
Actually, I do spit on when I get paint where there's not supposed to be. I'll spit on it I'll spit on my thumb and then try to rub that paint off.
That's how you know it's authentic Christian made.
Yep. You can get a DNA test it, and it'll come back from me. But yeah. Until next time on Planet Zero, it was lovely having you guys.
Yeah, it was nice. It's nice to be back.
And remember, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
You are amazing.
Yeah, play us off, Swamp Thing.